Howdy, shalom, and welcome. I am very excited for this episode today because we are going to be building the P-51 Mustang. So let's put on our flight gear and let's go into creative and let's get right into building. So this is my test world. Welcome to my test world. This is where I'm going to be building a lot of the contraptions, builds, and vehicles for my single player series and all future series. And as you can see, I've got some schematics loaded up for the Mustang because this is going to be our project today. So this is the scale that I think I'm going to be working with. It's a little bit scaled up from the real life dimensions. As you can see, the wings are about 5 meters in breadth apiece, and obviously the fuselage would be about just under a meter. So we will be trying to keep the fuselage to be about 2 blocks in length, or a block and about a half a block on each side, and then the wings will be about 6 or 7, and then I think this is 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12 blocks in length. So it's going to be, what is this, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 12. It will be about 15 meters wide by about 12 meters long. That is going to be the scale we're going to be working with. And right here you can see I have 2 different engine designs I've come up with for now. The first one is using, the diesel engine from Create Diesel Generators. I did try using the Factory Must Grow engine. As you can see, I've been trying to build a car out of it because it has this really cool engine controller block and stuff, and I was trying to get it to work, but it's just too bulky. And also, I haven't figured out how to make this work. I'm going to work on it, but currently all I can do is accelerate. I can't get the wheels to turn because I can't assign like redstone inputs to it. So I'm going to go with the diesel generators engine, one because it's super easy, but I think it's also going to be, actually that's one of the things I did not research is what kind of fuel does the P-51 burn. I assume it's typical aircraft fuel, but I'm actually, now that I think about it, I'm not entirely sure what that's composed of. But anyways, all that aside, this is the first engine design. If I just give it a little quick start, you'll see, I already have a crank. If I get her going, and it is making 192 RPM, which is pretty good. I have a clutch to disable the prop. That's it. That's the entire build. Now, that works really well. I can stop it with the clutch. I can start it again, and I basically turn the engine off. You can turn it off with the redstone signal, or you can just pull the fuel out of it. This is the other one I came up with, and this is interesting because if I get that going the right way and I get her started up, yeah, I have a clutch, but I also have a gear shift. So I can make the propeller go fast, or I could slow it down if I wanted to slow the plane down, or like for taxiing. This is one option, but another one that I just thought of is the redstone resistor, and this might actually be better because if I understand how this works correctly, and hopefully I do, then this should, we can actually adjust the strength of the resistor based off of the redstone input. So I think that's going to be way more ideal for a plane because we will have a lot more control over our speed, which means I could also switch these around so that my speed is doubled. But basically, this is 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. This puts the prop 7 blocks in front of the seat, or 7 meters. And if we look at the plane diagram, I think you can see it best like here. Probably just here or even here. The seat sits right just behind the center of the wing, right? So I think we're going to go with this design, and I'll modify it as we go, obviously for our needs, but we're going to build something like this. We're going to have it come out, have the plane be about that long, and if I just go ahead and plop a chair or a seat, let me get a seat. Just like that right there. That will be our pilot seat. This will be our gearbox for our retractable landing gear. So that'll provide power to the bearings for that. And then I think after that, it's just taking power down to the wings for the, like that will be our flap gearbox, and this will be our landing gearbox. And then we take some shafts back, and then we've got, take these out of the way, and then we've got flaps right there, basically. And this ought to make it so we don't need to use any of the compressible universal joint shafts, but ooh, let's make you vertical, because I might want the tail wings. Are the tail wings higher on the P-51? They are higher. So let's do that. Let's give you another one, and you will be the flaps, like so. We can assemble the flaps. They're good. Assemble these. Okay, we've got basically the flaps, the wings. We just need propellers. I've already prepared these blades. They're very easy to make, also very fast. But then we can put 4 of them on here because the P-51 had 4. And I'm just going to give it a blade angle of 45 degrees for now. We can adjust that. I know the actual pop angle changed. Like, they started off really aggressive and then they ended up, as you can see, they came out at a much more gentle degree than from when they started. But that's 4 blades in the wings, and we'll need a vertical stabilizer. So we'll just, can I place you? No, apparently I can't. Place you like that. There we go. That should, if I get diesel in here, that should allow us to fly, I think, if I just got the controls hooked up. So we have 2 options. We have the create controller, and I also have create tweaked controllers, which is it's got a lot more buttons available, although I am going to have to set up these keybinds because I haven't, like, this is this is set up for a controller. I haven't set these keybinds up yet. Okay, I got it working. We have custom controls we can do now, so we only have to do the frequencies now, which is awesome. So let's just get something like a feather, and this will be everything related to like ailerons, rudders, that kind of stuff. Blue and red and yellow and green and orange. I don't know if we're gonna need all those frequencies, but now we will set orange on the bottom, let's say, and a feather on the top. And it doesn't render, but I notice it does render if you have shaders on. So for the backside, we'll do yellow on the bottom, and then we want these to be reversed. So let's do red on the bottom here and a feather on the top. Let's do blue on the blue and a feather. And so on the side we'll do red and a feather, and on this side we'll do blue and a feather. Like that. So now these frequencies should be set, and if I go into here and okay, axis settings, I also have, I can control it with my mouse too, which is cool. So I might do this for my throttle. That would be really interesting. But for the, let's try this for now. So there we go. So now we're going very slowly. Oh, because it doesn't have the turbo on it. But those back things should have power now. So okay, that's not working. Oh, it's because that's not spinning. Swap you around. There you go. You're still not spin. Oh, because of that. Now you're spinning. Right. Okay, let's try. So that's down. So these are inverted from what we want them to be right now. But those work. Cool. And we can pretty easily fix that by just putting yellow over here and orange over here. Now if I don't know if these are going to be correct yet. I'm making a guess. but yeah, let's try that. Okay, so they are inverted. That's easy enough to fix. Blue on the left, red on the right. That should get our ailerons working. So this will have us bank right, and that will have us bank left, I believe. I believe that should be correct. So all we need now is a couple wheels so we can take off, and I think we can try this puppy out. Just put you right there, assemble. Okay, and we did break this. That's okay. So then we put a link here, make it a receiver, and we'll do redstone and a feather. And we'll have for this, we'll have our, well, for now let's just make it, keybind Y. Y can be our engine start / stop maybe? If I hit Y. There we go. So currently it's, not a toggle. We're gonna have to fix that, and it's also, yeah, we'll do it like this. Max to none. And then, there we go. Now we can just make it go faster. That should be a working plane. I put it there. Oh! It's going the wrong way. But it clearly works. Okay, let's slow you down. Okay, let's change this up so that we can actually maybe access this from here. There. Now we can access the power from the seat. So here goes nothing. Oh shoot, is this not gonna work? Oh, well, that works. Up. We go up. We turn. It's a working aircraft, and it's very fast. Oh boy. Okay. Whoa. Well, we have a working prototype, so let's take it back over to the workshop area. And let's see what we can do with this. So now, if I get in the seat, and I activate this, and then I hit Alt, I can give myself a little bit of throttle. And then I can go full throttle, which really makes me pitch down. And I don't seem to be having any lift. Okay, and right click stops it. Oh, give me, okay, now we're up and going. Woo! Well, it's very nose heavy still. I'm gonna have to fix that. But I didn't put any cambered wings on there. Let me just completely stop my prop. If I put some cambered wings on the main body, I think that will help. Let's get some of the cambered wings and put like 2 of them in there, because these provide a lot more lift. These are more like flaps. They don't actually provide much lift. But if I do this, then we might have more lift than we need. Yeah, that's a lot more lift when we only put 3 on each side, and it's already, like, no input right now. It's just going up. So 3 is too much. Although we might need that much when we add, what am I trying to say? When we add all the copycat blocks and all the extra weight. So let's think about making this thing, oops, not you. Making this thing look a little better, because we've established that it flies. So the first step to making it look better is obviously adding retractable landing gear. That's going to be the next challenge. And I have this ready, so if we get a bearing, We just want regular mechanical bearing, I think. Except that's going to rotate it backwards. Of course, because that would be the easiest. So, we're going to want sequenced gear shifts is what we're going to want. Sequence. Because, yeah, see, sequence gear shift right here. Right. And then we'll have the mechanical bearing. If we had something like that, and then the wheel attached to that, that might work. And I think we can actually, yeah, we can do it like that. So we'd want the layer on this side, like that. Maybe. The wing would start there. That might. I don't know if that's going to make the wings too big. We'll see. But if I adjust you to turn... Well, how do I say to only... Oh, wait, it's you. I changed to only place near initial angle, because we don't want them to actually place when they're folded in. And we change you... Okay, turn 90 degrees and then end. Let's just get a button. And let's test this out. Which way does it turn? Actually, I need to glue it first. You like that, and then okay, so it needs to go the other way because we want it to go that way. Boom. That's that one. Now I have to decide if I want this one to do it. I think what I need to worry about now is how the guns are going to look. So I just need this block over here. What do you call it again? The fixed cannon mount. Yeah, that's right. And ooh, I'm gonna have to put it here. So it's way further out from the fuselage than I like. Unless I put it right here and then have the guns really close. I mean, that could work. I don't know. Let's see. Auto cannon. We're gonna need recoil springs and barrel and a breech, but the breech has to go one block behind, so like that. Like that would be our cannon, maybe? I think that might be it. We have to have a breech for sure. And then I could put the hoppers to feed the ammo into this right there. Ooh, that might actually work. Hang on, I might be onto something. Because if I go ahead and plan for this right now, then the redstone will be right there. That one. In moment of truth. Ooh, that works. It's very loud, but it works. Nice. That's the guts of the plane done, I think. I'm pretty sure I don't need to add anything else. I can work on making it pretty now. So now, I guess I'm gonna try to make this thing look good. And I'm not sure which livery I'm gonna go with yet. This is obviously the classic D-Day with invasion stripes livery, but I'm kind of partial to this crazy horse, the blue nose with the invasion stripes, and I don't know, it looks cool. So I might do something like that. I might make a couple different versions and have a few different liveries, but yeah, here we go. Good, wish me luck. Okay, well, I think I finally have a working shape, more or less. I'm going to do a little bit of tweaking. Obviously, I need to decide what I'm going to do with the tail here. I was experimenting with the little star pattern that we got going on there, but before I do any more decorative shenanigans, I want to see if this thing even works, like if it flies. Now that I've added all the various things onto it, the wheels, everything should still work. I mean, I'm sincerely hoping. Anyways, oh boy, here's the moment of truth. You know what? I should probably grab some kind of schematic of this thing before I let's see. Okay, there we go. So if I paste it, cool. Like that actually works. Also, I did end up using the compressible shafts. Oh, that one doesn't have the shafts connected. Interesting. I can do that real quick. That way I can show y'all. So there is a shaft. Oh gosh, get me out of here. I'll just break these for now. There's a shaft right there. That connects to that. Connection failed. That's not good. Okay, well this one is once again working, so we're just gonna roll with it. I have that. We're just gonna hope. We're just really gonna hope that this works. Let's take this over to the runway. I still don't have steering set up. I guess I need to think about that. But steering's gonna be very difficult because I have the landing gear retractable. Oh, it's bouncy. Uh-oh. Anyways, let's hop in here, grab our controller, and just see. Okay. Ooh. It's going the wrong way. No problem. Oh yeah, because I put the gear shift in there. I made a few changes off to show y'all. But, okay. Increase throttle. Good. All the flaps work. That's, ooh. That's not quite full throttle. Oh boy. Why are we listing? Okay, it flies, but barely. It doesn't control very well. It doesn't control well at all. Oh no. Okay, I finally got the landing gear to retract again. We were overstressing our system. That was the problem. So I had to do some finagling to get it to work again. But now it should be good to go. And we should be good to try to take this puppy off again. I think I got all the paneling back where I wanted it. And honestly, if this works, I'm going to go ahead and put in all the details. Oop, that's no good. We need to put you on the ground. I'll go ahead and put in all the details and call her done, I think. Or, you know, do what's left. Needed to be done. Let's see. There we go. Full throttle. No power. Let's lift off, see how we do. Handles pretty decent, honestly. It's not like actually, maybe not P-51 accurate, but let's see, we can pull in our landing gear. Nice. That's awesome. It works. And I did not assemble the guns, but we could be shooting the guns if we wanted to. So let's come in for a landing. Yeah, let's just pull our throttle back a little bit. Oh, that's a bad dive. I should not have rolled that far. Ooh, very bad landing. It's close, right? Close enough. Alright, I'm gonna put all the armor plating on this and make it look like an actual plane instead of a copycat thing. And then we'll be done with the P-51. Well, folks, I think that's as good as it's going to get with this thing. It is looking pretty good, if you ask me. I really like this livery. This is obviously the blue with the invasion stripes that I was looking at. It just looks really cool. There is a couple downsides to this build currently, and I may work on it. One of them is, well, there's not a good way to cover this up because of the way this has to be powered. Basically, in order to not turn off my engine, which I did have to switch around to the to this version, the top mounted one, fueled from the bottom. I had to switch it around because powering the guns was turning off the engine, so I had to swap a bunch of things around. And in order to make this nice and flush, I have to have the redstone mounted here, which also unfortunately means there's no room for a hopper in this thing. I can't put it here because that's occupied by redstone. There's just unfortunately no good way to mount a hopper, which means we're either limited to 16 rounds in the default ammo crate, or we just have to use creative, which is obviously not ideal, but it's all we got. So the only thing left to do with this is to add steering, and I'm not sure how I want to do that. Oh, I missed a piece. I missed all of that. There we go. But currently this flies, so I'm going to take it for a little test flight and see how she performs now that she's all armored up. Okay, so we'll grab this here. We're not exactly centered, are we? If we could turn, that would be alright. But seeing as we can't turn just yet, let's get centered up. And we can see everything that's going on down there. Alright, here we go. Full throttle. And we're off. And we got pretty good visibility. Yeah, this is awesome. Super cool. Handles pretty well, honestly. I'm not disappointed with the handling. We can do that. We can pull in our landing gear. Nice. There you go. That's your P-51. Flies like a dream. Oh yeah. Honestly, the aileron might be a little too aggressive. I've actually lost control of the plane just now, and now I've got it back. So let me bring my throttle down a little bit. It could just be that too much engine power going on, which is okay. Let's bring it down a lot now. Ooh. I did not. I'm going to stall out here. We're really high. Oh, that's so cool. And currently the back landing gear doesn't retract. I could think of a way to change that. Those are the main ones that need to retract. And let's try and land it real quick. Didn't touch the runway, but that's okay. We made a safe landing. And a safe landing is better than no landing, hey? Nice. Very nice. Okay, let's get out of here. Well, folks, I have been working on this for a while now, and I am pleased to say I am happy with what I've got. I am done. So I have not just the one Mustang, but two Mustangs. That's right. We have two different liveries. So this is the Crazy Horse livery, and then the classic D-Day with invasion stripes. Although it's not specifically D-Day, I think that's just probably the most memorable. You know, this is a very popular paint job. But yeah, I did a lot of work on these things, so I'll show you what I did, because there we go. So I started off by redesigning everything pretty much except the internals. I moved the guns to the outside, which allowed me to have a nicer looking fuselage area here. Everything just looks neater, cleaner, and the guns should be safer too, because sometimes when you're turning or moving really fast, it spawns the projectile behind the barrel. So in this instance, if you are running autocannon rounds, which are a lot more explosive than the machine gun rounds, there should be very little chance for it to damage anything important on the plane. I did also get the hoppers in there. So the hoppers right there, you can load the guns from those, which means you can run a lot more ammunition than you could if you try to use those dinky boxes, and you don't have to use creative boxes, which is great. It also comes with 2 redstone hardpoints. So this variant is equipped with the C8 rocket box, which has 9 rockets that you can trigger. Unfortunately, it does not just shoot one at a time. If you trigger them, it shoots all 9 of them, but that's okay. This one is equipped with 2 bombs. I think these are just some medium bombs. They do a good chunk of damage. And yeah, you can put anything that's redstone activated on these hardpoints. So it's very versatile. I went with the rockets and the bombs because that is historically accurate. And speaking of being historically accurate, I have removed the tail wheel, as you can see. So these are now tail draggers, which is not ideal, but it's okay, I think. These were known in real life for being tail draggers, not because they were missing a tail, but because the tail set really low to the ground when they were taxiing and taking off. I've just removed the tail entirely because, as you can see, if I flip you on, it just looks a whole lot better to not have a little tail sticking out here. It looks way better like this. I much prefer it. These are the main things that you wanted folding up anyway, so those are taken care of, and I think it's just better this way. It's prettier. Obviously it'd be nicer to have the wheel for when you're taxiing around, but it is what it is. That was the limits that I could do and still have it look good. I could not have it retract in any way. I've done so much finagling with the mechanics and whatnot. It's just not possible for me to do right now. Either that might be a skill issue, it also might just be a game limitation issue. I was experimenting running this one on plant oil, as you can see, and it actually runs just fine. It takes a little bit longer to get up to speed on the runway, but it does get up to speed, and it gets pretty fast even with the plant oil, which operates at a lower RPM when running that diesel engine than diesel does. Now I do prefer diesel. It punches better. Everything is snappier. The turns, the climb, the acceleration, everything's just a lot more powerful with the diesel. I mean, obviously, but yeah, it is harder to control, I will say. This thing, once it gets up to speed, it pitches up pretty aggressively. It has a tendency to want to just go up. And for some reason, Valkyrien Skies, I think it's Valkyrien Skies that does this, but once you hit a block hit, what am I trying to say? Once you hit a height of about 400 to 500 blocks, you just kind of lose control of your aircraft. The control surfaces don't respond, and your aircraft will try to come back down to the ground. I don't know if that's just a safety thing they implemented to keep you from flying off into space, but that is a limitation of either the Create mod or Valkyrien Skies or Minecraft or all of the above. I don't know. So try to keep your ceiling at around 300 or 400 blocks, I guess. Keep a good eye on your altitude when you're flying. That is the best way to maintain good control of these things, is to just always have your eye on your altitude and be mindful of your airspeed. I take off at full throttle, and then very quickly, like as soon as I'm off the runway, I pull back to about half throttle, pull on my landing gear, and that's more than enough power to get around and do what I need to do. And honestly, it's a little too fast. It is insanely fast, but you want that speed when you're flying around, because you do lose a lot of speed when you turn and bank. In fact, that is the only reliable way to lose airspeed with these things, is to turn. So my tips would be build a bigger runway than this. This is very hard to hit as it is. It's very hard to get your speed just right so that you hit the runway. So I would say be more gracious to yourself and build a longer runway, or you can try running at lower RPMs. I have taken the turbochargers off of both of these because it doesn't need it. And you will want to set your suspension to the lowest setting, because even if you're not going very fast, the plane has a tendency to just bounce off the runway. But especially if you are going fast, you will just bounce into the air and you'll make contact there, and in a second you'll be that high. So yeah, I do have brakes. So currently these tires steer and brake. I believe I have shift is my braking right now, but obviously those are keybinds you'll have to do manually. You'll have to set those if you use the tweak controller mod. These are built to be used with the controllers because there's a lot of controls. You got guns, you got bombs, you got steering, you got brakes, you got acceleration, you got all the different things. So I tried to use as few mods as I could, but at the end I think I do have about 7, maybe 6 or 7 mods. I'll have to count. 6 or 7 dependencies for these planes, but I'm not using fly-by-wire. I'm only using Valkyrien Skies Clockwork, steel armor plating, create big guns, obviously create air war if you want to use these, but that's not required. Create diesel generators. You know, there's a few necessary mods, but I tried to keep it as slim as possible when it came to mods, and I also wanted them to be survival friendly. So these are survival flyable. You can load your ammo into the hoppers, you can get fuel into the tank. Once you get fuel into the tank, it's good to go. Like you can operate on it. I intentionally installed trapdoors there so you can mess with that kind of stuff. There's trapdoors here so you can access your different, what am I trying to say? Your shafts and your universal joints and all that. And, obviously you can get in here. You can get up here to change the propeller. Like that's how you engage and disengage it. I mean, it's meant to be worked on. It's meant to be operated on in survival, and that's something I'm really proud of. And I have put together a little compilation of clips, some cinematic B-roll of these guys that I was flying around here in this world, so I will play that for you right now so you can enjoy these beautiful machines as much as I am. And all that being said, I'm going to call it a day. I have put a lot of work into these guys, and I am ready to wrap this project up and begin thinking about the next one. So I'm going to build some more of these planes in the future. This is the first plane I've ever built and create, so hopefully my skills will get better. I'll learn new things and learn better tactics for building these, but I'm really proud of how these came out. I think they look great, they work great. It's kind of a dream come true for me because this is my favorite historical plane. I think I want to build a P-47 next. That would be really cool. I would love to build a P-38 Thunderbolt. Those are just really cool planes. Maybe B-17. I want to build quite a few World War II era planes because they're just cool birds. You gotta admit, they look awesome, and having them in Minecraft is like, it's awesome. It's so cool. But anyways, I'm not going to dip into jets yet. I want to stick with the propeller planes for now. So if you have a suggestion for a plane that I should build, be sure to let me know down below, and I'll try to think about working that in. Obviously, I don't have a lot of time to make these videos, and I want to do them justice, like I did this justice, and spend time making it look good and making it work good. But yeah, this was the first one, but the first one of many, hopefully. So thank you all for watching, and I will see you all in the next one. I've had a good time. Bye bye.